What is up, y'all? Gang. Happy 2020. I've said this already in a previous video. So today I am back, and if you guys are like an OG subscriber from my channel, then you kind of know that I used to do a lot of tips and tricks like for natural hair and things and so on. So I'm going to try and incorporate more of that and more like talking content to you guys, because you guys don't always just want to see a tutorial. So I got a couple suggestions from some people on Instagram, from some of you guys on Instagram. So today I'm doing one of the requested topics, which is tips for people with heat damage. So we're gonna get right into the video, but I'm just gonna make this disclaimer because my mic goes in and out, so hopefully that I can get this video without any types of problems and issues. But if you guys hear a buzzing sound, I'm very sorry. But let's just get into it. Hence, look, check it out, my mic is still broke, so just don't mind it as long as y'all can hear me. I do have some things written down that I do want to talk to on my little notebook, but I've done a video actually before on heat damage, but here's a quick refresher and maybe some new tips that I have learned. And yes, my nail is broke, so don't mind it. But jumping right into the video, if you have heat damage, overall it just means that your hair was compromised. So having heat damage is sort of like getting a relaxer. So when you're getting a relaxer, you're compromising your hair texture, you're stretching it out and it's straightening it. So if you keep on straightening your actual hair with heat tools, which you're not supposed to do constantly and over, and especially if the heat tool, if you do it one time on a very high heat tool, you can experience heat damage. So you want to be careful with that. But once again, heat damage is pretty similar to like getting a relaxer done. It's just compromising your hair's natural texture. So if you have heat damage, this video is for you. So the first tip that I have for people with heat damage or dealing with heat damage is no heat. Once again, if you have heat damage, that means you were using too much heat or too high of a frequency of heat. So all in all, you need to just cut that out of your hair regimen. You don't need it. If you're a type of person who likes to wear your hair stretched or in a blow-dried state or style, you can get a Q-Redo. You can do styles that will stretch out your hair, like braids. You can, what is it? I can't remember what it's called. I think you can band your hair. Some people band with scrunchies and hair ties. Some people band with actual thread. There's so many ways that you can actually stretch your hair without actually using heat. So if that's going to be your excuse, it's no excuse, period, sis. We don't need no heat damage all 2020, all 2021. Like, heat damage is old and outdated. If you have it, you need to transition and get out of there. The next thing that I would say for people who feel like or may have heat damage is to use like some type of like deep cleansing shampoo. Now, if you are a person who gets your hair straightened or flat ironed frequently, you want to make sure that you're shampooing with deep cleansing shampoos and things like that, because a lot of the heat protectants and just hair products out there in general, they have silicones and oils and things like that. They coat your hair strand, and when they coat your hair strand, your hair is not able to be penetrated by the water. The first tip I want to give you when it comes to trying to figure out if you actually have heat damage is to shampoo your hair with a deep cleansing shampoo. That will show your hair's true colors. Now, if you're natural and you ever gotten your hair straightened, you do notice that when you do get your hair straightened, in the first wash that you do after your hair is straightened, your hair just seems like different, like limp and more thin. It's because your hair was coated with products that probably have silicones, or they're just like, I don't want to say gooky because that sounds nasty, but gooky, and they're thick on your hair strand. Like, they're coated your hair strand and it's hard for your hair to be penetrated. So therefore it looks kind of like stretched and like heat damage. So if you're sure or unsure if you have heat damage, I do want to say that you want to use a deep cleansing shampoo. If you can, try to find shampoos without sulfate, because sulfate can strip your hair. But my hair is very prone to product buildup, so I use sulfates here and there. But shampooing your hair and cleansing it is just like a must. You need to see what you're really working with when it comes to having any type of damage on your natural hair. Okay, so next, we have protein treatments. Protein treatments are very important, just period. People with damage, without damage, may have damage. It's just you need to get a protein treatment. Me personally, I get protein treatments probably every 2 to 3 months, and sometimes sooner than that, just depending on how my hair is doing. Protein treatments basically restore all the lost ions from styling, straightening, putting your hair in a ponytail, perm rods, just pulling and nagging your hair. Like, protein treatments put all the stuff that was lost back into your hair. So I'm not saying that heat damage cannot be repaired. It just cannot. Once it's permanently done, it's done. But you can do things to better care for your hair and help restore your hair or help your hair get better. And I think protein treatments are very, very important, along with trims as well. I'll get into trims in a second. But deep conditioning is also something that you guys need to look into if you have heat damage. Deep conditioning basically just restores all the moisture into your hair. And when you have heat damage, my camera is wilding out. It just keeps cutting off, but I'm gonna keep trying to continue this video. But I was saying that deep conditioning for natural hair is very, very important. Deep conditioning for damaged hair is very, very important, especially because when you have heat damaged hair, you probably have 2 or more textures in your head. And when you have 2 or more textures, it's hard to moisturize everything. You know, some parts of the hair need more moisture than the others. So with deep conditioning, it's kind of like putting moisture in every strand, every piece of your hair. And then with deep conditioning, I do recommend the greenhouse effect or the greenhouse method, which is basically kind of like a greenhouse and how it works with the plants. So you want to put your deep conditioner in your hair and then put on like a shower cap, a plastic bag, and then tie a scarf over it so that all that moisture soaks in and is absorbed into your natural hair or into your transitioning hair. And then let's get into trims. So trims are very, very important. My battery's finna die, but trims are very, very important. One, because in order for your hair to grow, you have to trim off the dead ends. If you don't trim off the dead ends and you hold on to the dead ends will just basically eat up all the healthy hair and your hair will start to break off. I will do a video on breakage if you guys want me to, but that's why trims are so important, especially with heat damaged hair. Like I said, you have 2 or 3, even sometimes more different textures in your head. So when the dry ends are brittle and they're broken, like I said, it's just going to eat up the hair shaft and your hair is going to start to break. And then also for people who want to, you know, deal with their heat damaged hair without actually big chopping, I do recommend that every time you go get your hair trimmed, that you get like an extra inch cut off. So like every time your hair grows an inch, get an inch cut off so that it's kind of like you're cutting off the heat damage as your hair grows. So it's not as noticeable as a big chop would be. For my people with heat damaged hair, I do recommend, and I recommended so badly, to be very, very patient. Heat damaged hair is it's like having a newborn baby. You have to treat your hair like a itty bitty baby. It just needs so much care, and if you don't care for it, you can end up with a lot of hair loss, a lot of breakage, and it's no good. So when you realize that your hair is damaged, heat damaged, whatever, please be patient and care for it. Do everything that you need to do to get back to the health that it used to be or the health that you want it to be. Just always keep that in mind, because if you don't care for it, then nobody will. And then when you're sitting there with your hair all damaged and stuff, then what? It's your fault because you weren't patient with your hair. You have to be caring with your hair. You have to be, because heat damaged hair is just very fragile, period. And then I have 3 more points for my people who have heat damaged hair. First is to try to protective style. And this actually goes hand in hand with another point that I have, or tip that I have, is to protect your ends. So with protective styling, you want to, actually all of the last 3 points actually kind of go together. Protective styling, low maintenance styles, and then protecting your ends. So with protective styles, it protects your hair. So you want to have your hair tucked away, whether it be crochet, braids, wigs, weaves, anything. But if you do weaves or anything like that, you want to make sure that it's not no type of style where you have to have leave out and straighten your leave out, because it's going to be pointless. With protective styles, like I said, you want it to be something where your ends are tucked away, and something like a low maintenance style. So if you do decide to wear your hair out, you want to do low maintenance style, not something that manipulates your hair too much. Too much manipulation can cause more damage on your heat damaged hair because it's already so fragile. There's so many protective styles out there, but you just kind of search and find what your niche is. But when you do protective style, remember that you still have to take care of your hair. So even if you have braids, a wig, whatever, you need to still oil your scalp. You need to moisturize your ends, do deep conditionings, shampoo your hair, condition your hair, the greenhouse, like all of that. You still need to do that, because if you just tuck your hair away, okay, it may grow, but when you take out the braids, that growth was going to be pointless because your hair is going to end up breaking off. So you guys just want to keep in mind all of these tips. Those are just a couple of tips that I have. There may be more. If you have more tips for people with heat damage, feel free to comment them down below. And if you have another topic that you guys want me to talk about when it comes to hair, let me know, because I will be having my dad on for some conversations about healthy hair. My camera did cut off, but I was saying, just let me know, because I will be having my dad here, maybe for some tips if you guys would like. But just take care of your hair, protect your hair, and just care for your hair like you would care for a newborn baby. Like, that's just facts. But I hope you guys enjoyed some of these tips. And like I said before, if you guys have any tips that you have that I haven't mentioned, make sure you comment them down below for the people who are dealing with heat damage, because you may be helping the next person. But I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have more topics that you guys want me to talk about concerning hair, let me know. But I love you guys, and I will see you guys in the next one. Mwah.